they tell you that Eid is the time when Muslim families come together for meals, for celebrations, and for tradition, right? But have you ever stopped to ask yourself what really happens inside these doors? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself what really happens in these communities when those families gather? Grooming gangs inquiries are taking place in UK by an MP, not by a government, because we've got like so amazingly awesome government intentionally choose to turn blind eye. So, and an MP turn up during the grooming gangs inquiry. And overall, when we talk about grooming gangs, one of the things we always hear is be tolerant. Be tolerant. Don't be Islamophobe, all those kind of things, right? And we hear none to very little about the victims. And when survivor speaks, when those victims speaks, they talk about how religion played very important part in this. I was thinking, well, at this stage, I don't even think I need to mention or name that religion. But clearly, people don't know what that religion is. That religion is Islam. So Islam, according to survivors, according to the victims, played the main role in this abuse. That's why authorities are afraid of investigating. So listen to the clip and then hear what Muslims are up to during the Eid.
You know, the fact that specifically around Eid as well, I'll come to you first on this, Emma, that there's testimony that basically some Pakistani men in Britain celebrated Eid by inviting their dads, cousins, brothers, etc. round so that they could abuse young working-class white girls.
Yeah, I mean, years ago I did an interview with a woman who was a grooming gang survivor. She remained anonymous, but she spoke about the religious motivations behind what her attackers were doing to her, the sorts of names that they would call her. I kind of really want to say them repeat them on television. But the motivation was clearly religious and clearly racist against her because she was a young white woman. In her case, she actually wasn't from a sort of vulnerable background. She was a fairly middle class background. And the evidence seems to be overwhelming when you hear these stories, that there is a religious motivation there. And it's not just that the authorities didn't want to act because they were afraid of being accused of racism. I think in some cases they were quite clearly afraid of being called Islamophobic. The idea that you have to refer to them even as Asian grooming gangs, and it's not Japanese people that are predominantly doing this. So even in the way that we've been repeatedly told, oh, we're not allowed to even call them Asian grooming gang, but even that isn't quite accurate, is it?
Yeah.
So I think, good on Rupert Lowe for actually taking the initiative and doing this, because I think it's an absolute disgrace that the government haven't stepped up to the plate and done this properly.
Yeah,
because they can't be trusted to.